knowledge being spread. It's like warm butter across the bread. Smooth, I know you like that. Flow with the grain and don't fight that. You want righteous love, you found the right match. With Marty McFly, they on the right track. Yeah, gotta dig through dirt to plant the seed. Spread roots till you sprout like a tree. Doni Jones, she the one you wanna see. Doni Jones live, this is where you wanna be. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live. It's Doni Jones live, Doni Jones live.
Welcome to Doni Jones Live. I am Donnie the Tree Lady, hanging out with
that guy, Marty McFly, making it do what it do on another beautiful day.
It's a beautiful, beautiful day, and you are making it do what it do.
Yeah, I got my hair cut and everything, and
I
I'm
know.
trying to look all professional.
You make me want to go retwist my locks or something.
Why don't you just
do a
get
little
them cut?
something.
That'd be cool too. Just getting them cut.
No.
Trim.
No.
Little...
Oh yeah, I will get them trimmed, but I'm not getting them cut. I like.
Do you sleep with like a pillow or something on your head?
No.
That's why it's fuzzy. Okay.
I sleep with...
No, I didn't know. What?
I know you ain't talking.
What?
Your hair looks good today, but sometimes you be looking like you just rolled out of bed when you roll up in here.
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. So how was your week been, Miss Donnie?
Really, really good.
Starting off sensitive.
How you gonna start the conversation with a compliment and then turn around and insult me at the same time?
I didn't know I insulted you.
That's okay.
Your lock looked nice.
You say my lock.
It does.
You say one of them looks nice.
Right. But anyway, Donnie, what has been going on with you? I know a lot of stuff's been going on in the news. You've been in the news
actually,
everything.
A lot of stuff has been going on. But I will say this. You mentioned that it's raining. I know sometimes to you I complain about the rain.
Yeah.
I ain't complaining. I'm in a different place, man. I'm just like in this mode where I'm like, you know what? Let God do what he's going to do. Or she's do what he's going to do. Whatever.
Just bring the storm so people can call you. I'm not mad.
Exactly.
Just bring it so they can call you.
Marty, I'm not even thinking about it from a prophet's perspective.
You don't ever think about that when a storm comes?
Okay. Yes, I do.
Okay, then.
Okay. Yes, I do.
Keep it.
But that's not what I'm thinking. I'm thinking of it from rain is cleansing. You know what I'm saying? Rain makes things grow, And a lot of times whenever it's raining, I'm like, oh man, I got to do this, I got to do that, and it's slowing us down. But sometimes I really feel like God is telling us to just take a breather. So I guess that's the space that I'm in right now. And for those of you that don't know what he's talking about, I say it every week, but I own a tree care company here in Atlanta, Georgia.
Yes.
And the name of my company is Don's Tree Service. Just remember, Don's Tree Service. If service ain't in the name, it ain't me. But yeah, man, I own a tree care company, and a lot of times if we don't get out and work, that means that
right, we don't eat.
Right.
Exactly.
So,
that's how I think of it. If you don't get out there to work,
right. So I tell people, that a lot of times when there's a little pause, you just kind of gotta accept it and roll with it and stuff like that.
I know I do. When I wake up and it's storming, really, really storming in the morning.
Yeah.
I wake up, I take a pause.
Okay, I'm gonna hurt
pause.
you. Your church people are listening to this.
No, I'm drinking coffee. I don't know what you think.
That is not what coffee drinking sounds like.
Hot. You got to blow in it.
No, you weren't blowing. Maybe you are blowing in them, but that's none of my business. But my thing is,
we on church, we on radio, being gospel radio stations.
That's true.
But no. I'm saying I meditate and I drink my coffee and I just watch the rain come down and just, a lot of times meditate. But one of the things about rain is like if it never rains in your life, then you're gonna have a drought. It needs to come to kind of change some stuff around.
Oh, that was spiritual, man. Okay, I don't know what your spiritual moment is at the end of the show, but you need to do something with that.
Oh, we can talk about that at the end of the show.
But I will say this. Oh, speaking of tree service, I do like to give people a little bit of advice.
Okay, yes.
Periodically during the season. And one of the things is if you have trees in your yard, what you want to look for is dead, dying, or hazardous limbs.
Right.
You want to look for mushrooms at the base. You want to look for cavities in the trunk. And if you're not in the Atlanta area and you don't have me to call, just reach out to a company with a certified arborist on staff and have them come check out your trees. Now, if you're in Atlanta, you want to call me, Donnie, and I'm with Don's Tree Service. Our number is 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
You do that like a perfect commercial. Let me ask you, just like we always got to go in to the doctor once a year and get your self-checked out and everything. Do trees need to do that kind of same type of thing?
I tell people to check their trees out 4 times a year. And granted, that might be a lot, but I think of it this way: the first day of like spring, summer, winter, fall. Just think about it, and just have somebody come look at them.
That you would come out or do, or I'm saying like as a homeowner or property owner, did you need to go out there and inspect your trees?
I think it should always be like whenever you pull into the driveway, just look up at your trees, or when you're in the yard, because trees are living organisms and they change, and so I definitely think that you should do that.
So if you look up and you see your tree might be getting depressed, what would you recommend?
Call me. That's what you do. Just call me. But yeah, man, things are good.
So with the tree care company, I gotta ask this question.
Yeah.
Because you've been doing trees now for like over 20-something years, right?
3 years, baby.
And it's been like a family type thing, right? Just because your father got you into it and everything, and it's been like
it's funny you mentioned family because. Okay, I grew up in the tree care industry. He's right. For those of you that don't know, my dad was in the tree care industry when I was in St. Louis. But when I came down here, I started my own company. And
did you ever have any family work with you under your own company?
Why are you trying to be funny?
Huh?
Okay. You know what? Funny enough, I did have Channel 2 News reach out to me.
Yeah. I was wondering if you
did. They reached out to me, and I have avoided this in the past. I get companies that call me and want to interview me. And the reason why I'm just going to say it right now, and I'm going to bring it up even though I've tried to avoid it in the past, is I have a relative that
closer than like cousin. This ain't your first cousin, a second
not a cousin, it's a relative.
Ain't no step. This is full-blooded, right?
You're trying to be funny. Okay, you want me to be specific is what you're trying to do.
Yeah. Be transparent.
Well, it's going to come out anyway because it's going to be on the news.
Everybody might not watch that channel.
Okay, Justin Gray from Channel 2 News once came and interviewed me last week. And so that should be coming out within the next couple of weeks. But what Marty is talking about, which I'm trying to avoid talking about, but I'm going to just say it because transparency is important. The person that we're talking about is my sister. And I have a relative. I want to go back to relative. But my sister is also in the tree care business. And she owns a tree service named Don's Tree Experts. And there's been a lot of talk about it in the news because she's gotten arrested and found guilty of stealing from people. I don't know if she's found guilty because I don't follow the case, but I know she's been arrested for taking people's money and not finishing the work or not doing the work. And it's been going on for years. And the thing for me that's been frustrating is that people would think that I'm affiliated with that company. So for years I had to defend my name. But in the beginning, I was like super duper angry and, I'm going to fight this and stuff like that. And I finally just got to the point where I said, you know what, I'm putting this in God's hands. I'm not going to fight this anymore. And so whenever people want to interview me, I would say, no, I'm not interested. I'm not going to say nothing negative about my sister. I don't want to talk about my sister, whatever. But the way Justin approached me was a little bit different. And so he wanted to talk about the impact of when companies that aren't reputable do business in your industry and how that affects
trifling
me.
companies in your industry. I can understand that.
I love this man.
What?
That's true. But but once again, I have nothing to say about her. I don't wish her any ill will, but I just don't want to. I don't want to put anything negative out there. If anything, I'm gonna ask. For y'all to pray for her. If you're in the Atlanta area and you know what we're talking, or even if you're not in Atlanta, if you hear my voice and you know what I'm talking about, I just ask that you guys hold her up in prayer. Because I do believe people.
Yeah. Prayer does change, but I know the prayer that you would do for her. I understand, Donnie.
I would pray that.
You would pray that her truck would just break down.
No.
You would pray that she catch cancer in the left leg or something.
Not true.
You would pray. I understand that, but no. Well, Donnie, here's the thing, though.
Marty.
Here's the thing. Here's the
okay,
question.
I'm listening.
Okay. You've forgiven her, right?
I have 100% forgiven her. I don't have any ill will.
Would you be?
I wish
with
her
that,
the best.
With that, would you be willing to sit down and talk to her? I'm saying it's if
I don't know why you're trying to be funny, dude.
If you forgive someone and you're moving forward,
that is not okay. I have forgiven her. Okay. However, I have to take care of myself. I have to stay healthy.
Right.
And for example, I don't like anchovies, right? I used to, but I don't. So I would never order those and put them on my pizza. So I don't really want to deal with anchovies. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about this situation. There's nothing to talk about. I don't have no ill will towards her, but there's no, okay, you know, gosh, I'm glad you brought this up, and we might talk about this later. People keep the same cycle going. They get toxic relationships in their life, and then they get rid of that toxic relationship, and then they invite it back in. Just because you forgive a person doesn't mean that that person needs to come back into your life. And so it's the same thing with an abusive relationship. And I could even look at that as an abusive relationship because the abuse that it had on my name. But why would I invite that into my life, and this person
2 minutes
is choosing to still do things that are unethical? But here's the crazy thing, before you even ask me about it. Mm-hmm. Even if she got to a point where she was not doing anything unethical, I still would not want her in my life.
Why is that?
Because I've moved on.
So there's no
not anything on the planet
that will bring your family back together.
Oh my gosh, I love my sisters.
Right.
I got a great husband.
Wait.
I got other sisters that I'm close to.
She's your sister. She's your family.
Yeah.
That you're saying
I absolutely wish her the best. I do. I wish her the best.
You just choose not to have her in your life.
I don't choose to go. Okay, I am happily married now, right?
She ain't trying to mess up your marriage.
Would you hold on? I'm happily married. Would I ever go back to my ex-boyfriend? No, because I'm happily married. I have incredible relationships in my life right now. That I have relationships with my other sisters. I have other people that I've connected that are even closer to me than my blood people. So why would I go back to that when I've got all this joy in my life? Because I wouldn't be doing it for her.
You never know. That might bring more joy. But no, and I'm asking those questions, but I understand how things like that happen. I'm saying when certain people hurt you so bad, it's kind of like, you know what? I'm good.
Yeah.
You know? And I can appreciate that, but it's always like your family.
But but I gotta be honest with you. When you have a father that was narcissistic and that was abusive, which my dad is fine now. Me and my dad have a close relationship now. I don't have no issues with him. But I will say this: after growing up with that kind of toxicity, you get to a point in your life where I ain't got to deal with that anymore. My life is good. I ain't got to deal with it. But we're gonna take a quick break.
Yep. We're gonna we're gonna do this sponsorship of Don's Tree Service. Right. But you're listening to Doni Jones Live with Doni Jones and Marty McFly, and we'll be right back.
Yeah.
It's Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, the rents start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree Service.
If the trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one fall on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
One of the things that frustrates me to no end is when I call a company and as soon as it picks up, it says, please hold, and your approximate hold time is 4 to 5 to 10 minutes. It frustrates me because I need some help. But then I was wondering about when we get on our knees and pray, does the spiritual angel kind of picks up and says, I hear your prayer, but please hold for the operator. And it might take you 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 months. But knowing that the operator will pick up and handle your problem. I think in those times, God is trying to tell us to just hold on for the blessing. Hi, I'm Pastor Marty Ringer, and I'd like to invite you to join us each and every Sunday morning at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Now, you might not be in the East Point or the Atlanta area, but you can always go online at stmarklutheranchurch.org and check out any of our services. I would love to just spread the good news of Christ to you. If you're here in the Atlanta area, our address is 4137 Washington Road in East Point, right down from the Atlanta airport. And if you're not around the ATL, you can always log on at stmarklutheranchurch.org. And there you can be a part of any of our worship services. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you understand this one message. God is trying to tell you to hold on until your blessing comes. And may God's grace and peace be with you.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am just living fabulously right now.
No,
I'm Marty McFly. Yeah.
I'm a little slow sometimes, Marty.
Just a few, and we'll let y'all know what we're talking about. We were coming out of the break, listening to the commercials or whatever, and I just asked Doni about her book, which is From Failure to Fabulous, and just wonder, like, have any of the books been selling? She's like, yeah, they've been selling, but not sure why.
No, I didn't say not sure why. I don't know how. Because I feel like I haven't been promoting. Like, I used to, say something every show, or I'd throw something up on social media. Mm-hmm. But I haven't. But I forgot that our
engineer just said, you're promoting it
right
now.
That's what he said. Exactly.
Look, Doni, you're promoting it right now. Just let you know. And she's like, oh, I am. But anyway.
Oh, by the way, I want to give a shout out to our customer, Mr. Gunther. He said he watches our show on AIB. So, yay, Thank you. Thank you for watching our show.
We got one viewer.
Yeah. Also, if you do watch this show or listen to it on the podcast, whether it's iTunes, Spotify,
YouTube,
MySpace, however you do that, please go to YouTube and subscribe to our channel, Doni Jones Live, DONI Jones Live on YouTube. Would love to have you subscribe
and just
to our
click
channel.
A like or something.
Yeah, and like something.
And if it's something that Doni say that you don't agree with, leave a comment.
Yeah, and if there's something you do agree with leave
me,
a comment.
Yes,
leave a comment.
But
yeah.
Anyway, Doni, what else has been going? What's been going on in the world?
Well, there's a lot happening in Memphis.
Yeah.
I didn't know if we were going to talk about this or not, but
I feel
like
we need to. I guess
we had gotten to the point where even in one of the shows, it was like, oh, we're not going to talk about politics, or we're not going to talk about the crazy stuff that happens in the news. But it's kind of hard not to talk about this stuff,
Yeah, I'm saying I wanted to talk about it the other week when it was first really kind of fresh,
yeah.
And I'll be honest with you, Doni, on this one, I'm mad on both levels. I'm saying on both sides of the whole spectrum.
How so?
Just really just upset.
Okay, let's be specific. For those that don't know, we're talking about Tyree Nichols.
The little boy that got his butt thrashed by the cops.
Yeah.
And passed. I guess 3 days after. Yeah. The I guess altercation and everything.
Yeah.
And here's my issue, okay?
Yeah.
I hate that it went down.
I hate that it went down.
Period. The young man lost his life.
That's
period.
Right. Yeah.
I hate that
I think it's spelled Tyre.
Huh?
No, I was just messing with you. Go ahead.
Okay. I hate that it was 5 black officers that did it.
Yeah.
All right. Now, that was the beginning frustration that I had.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
My other frustrations, and this is where it's like it's that fine line in between everything, because in history, every time we've had police violence, usually it's been a a white cop on a black suspect.
Yeah.
They say, well, he's going to be on administrative leave until further investigation.
Right.
These brothers was fired before the news even came out.
I'm glad you said that.
It was like, oh, we're going to do this quickly and swiftly. Yeah. Oh, you gone. Who's next? You know, and it's interesting for me that even more so, I got irritated because I'm looking at the video and I'm seeing somebody's hand that don't look like a African American's hand shooting a taser. You know, realizing that there was somebody else there. Then later on, which is interesting how they use the language is so much different.
Yeah, yeah.
The 5 black guys fired.
Yeah.
These other ones, administrative leave.
Yeah.
No. They relieved of their duties.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, wait a minute. Fire and now relieved of duty.
Relieved of duty. Yeah. Well, here's the crazy thing. Whenever there's, and I know you accuse me of leaning to the other side, but I just found it very interesting that all these, police brutality cases and stuff like that, which, by the way, I support the police when they're in the right.
Yes.
When they're in the wrong, don't support. But you go over to the more conservative stations and they're like, oh, yes, this is a tragedy. Those cops should be fired immediately. This is horrible. They should. And I'm like, I'm not disagreeing with that. But what I have an issue with is that whenever it's white cops, it's like, well, we need to look further into the situation.
We need to do some investigation.
We don't know what's happening, and being a cop is a very tough job, they're afraid they're they got to get home to their family, and we don't know we don't know the whole story. But then when they find out it's 5 black cops, they're like, oh, well, they need to go.
I'm saying when that dude,
which they did,
when that dude was on George Floyd's neck.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got fired that night or how long he was still on the payroll before, they finally let him go.
Yeah.
But that was like broadcast from everywhere.
Everywhere.
But they still stayed on trying to figure out.
Yeah.
And this one was like, well, y'all gone. Yeah. So I'm happy that they're working swiftly. However, it's one of those things that it still seems.
But if it was 5 white cops, would they be working this swiftly?
Right. Would it still be, would the video have come out by now?
But once again, I have to preface this because I've got friends of mine that are police officers here in Atlanta.
Oh, yes.
I support the police.
I do.
I do not believe in defunding the police when a lot of times our communities are the ones that need it the most. Sometimes, not all the times, but sometimes. We just need reform. They need to be retrained, and people that are just out to get people of color don't need to be on the police force, and they should be screened before they're given a gun and a badge. But we need the police.
Yes, I support the police. I love the police.
Right, but we need change. We need change.
We need some kind of.
We need some change.
Something needs
crazy.
to change in that. Yeah, because that's crazy. And I liked what Al Sharpton said at the funeral. And it really kind of spoke loudly. He said, we fought to open up the doors for y'all to get here.
Yeah.
And y'all do this.
Yeah.
It's like you didn't get that police officer job by yourself. There was people before that, that walked into there to do it, and I can appreciate that. I just, I want to talk about your girl, but I don't want to.
Go ahead and talk to her. Talk about it. Because she's not really my girl anymore. Go ahead.
I'm just curious. It's like this. I ain't seen that lady.
Dude.
Heard from that lady.
Dude.
Then there's
exactly.
something going on with the black people. Hey, I'm here.
Exactly.
And Biden's going to sign that if we do this, and they're going to put me back in the closet now again.
Yeah, exactly. It's like they pull her out like a puppet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what? Here's my question. Okay. Going back to that, because when she was running for office, I was like, "Yay, we can!" And then all of a sudden, not happening, right? Mm-hmm. But okay, aside from the last week, what has she been doing? like for real? Where's she been?
Maybe her nails.
What's going on?
I don't know. Just been. I was on that bus back in the day. I don't know what she's been doing. I'm saying I don't hear from her. Yeah. We don't see anything except now. There's a big funeral because of this, and she comes out and she speaks. I'm always pro.
Yeah, I just think things have got to change across the board. Yeah. Police have got to change. We as a community, we've got to start taking some accountability for our actions also. We got to talk to moms. We got to talk to dads. We got to actually be moms. We got to actually be dads.
And we do, excuse me, have to we have to come together, sit across the table and talk, because what's happening a lot of times now is young African American men are scared.
Yeah.
You know, like from my understanding, and I might be wrong on this one, but the young man, he didn't have any traffic violations or anything like that. He was just scared, you know, and trying to get home.
And if they were trained, they would have seen fear instead of aggression.
Well, at the same time, look, the boy only weighed like me, okay? I'm saying it don't take 5 people. I'm saying you weigh around 130, 120, somewhere in there. It don't take 5 people.
No, not at all.
You know, big men, it doesn't take that.
Yeah.
You know, so.
Just the mere fact they caught him.
They yanked him out the car and just, look, you could put your foot on that dude and just stay down.
Yeah.
But
it's like because in the police department, isn't there such a rule or a law about excessive force?
Yes.
And that was and then for them to stand around like they just standing around at the chicken joint. I'm like,
wow, and I think it's more like
how we're doing
what they used to call the boys club or something like that. Where
like they're just kind of chilling, like they're
chilling,
like they're going to get a cup of coffee or something. We're not
and
really.
What's sad is if the young man hadn't have passed, would any of this really came out? Because I'm saying they falsified the documents, the records, and all, you know, the report and stuff. Would it have really come out, or would it have been another? Well,
cover
we just slide this under the rug, and there's another mother that's just, you know, she's just complaining, and another guy, young black man, complaining that he was brutalized a little bit. Oh, whatever.
Right.
So the question is, how often does this happen?
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. How often does this happen? Too many times.
It happens too many. Police brutality happens too many times.
Yeah.
And jumping right back over here, y'all know I'm talking both. Okay, so I don't want to get y'all writing in talking about crazy stuff to me. Police brutality happens too many times.
Yep.
But can we talk about how many of us have killed each other?
No,
in the streets of Chicago, in the streets of New York, in the streets of Memphis, in the streets of Atlanta.
That's a whole.
It's not a whole different. It's a mentality. It's put it like they're criminals on both sides. The cops were criminals, and the criminals are criminals.
Well, if anything, I would say the conversation more so in this aspect of why did the black officers actually look at the black suspect the same way as a white person would?
Yeah,
you know,
and
in the sense of they're dangerous. They are almost like animals. We have no respect.
No respect, no value, no value on life. But that's what I'm going back to. I'm saying if those cops didn't value our life, value that man's life, that's a problem.
Yes, it just definitely is.
If 2 men get into a fight, or a man and a woman or whatever, and they're not on law enforcement, and they get into a fight and they kill each other, or one kills the other, that's still a lack of respect for life, a lack of honoring life. So what I'm saying is, going back to personal responsibility, these cops need to be held accountable and need to be responsible. And the people that are committing crimes on a daily basis that don't get reported.
Oh shoot!
Because it's just
Donnie,
America killing each other.
America has
that's a problem.
So many problems. I'm saying over the 40 mass shootings already this year.
Yeah,
that's the problem we talk about. Anyway,
too.
We got to take a quick break. You're listening to Doni Jones Live, the certified arborist, and we've got out of the take care of Donnie moment, I guess.
Yeah. Okay. So we're out to take care of Donnie. We got to take care of each other, y'all.
Yep. We'll be right back.
Yeah.
It's Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live. Doni Jones Live.
Now when the weather starts to change, the wrenches start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree Service.
If the trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one fall on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
You know, one of the things that frustrates me to no end is when I call a company and as soon as it picks up, it says, please hold, and your approximate hold time is 4 to 5 to 10 minutes. It frustrates me because I need some help. But then I was wondering about when we get on our knees and pray, does the spiritual angel kind of picks up and says, I hear your prayer, but please hold for the operator. And it might take you 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 months. But knowing that the operator will pick up and handle your problem. I think in those times, God is trying to tell us to just hold on for the blessing. Hi, I'm Pastor Marty Ringer, and I'd like to invite you to join us each and every Sunday morning at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Now, you might not be in the East Point or the Atlanta area, but you can always go online at stmarklutheranchurch.org and check out any of our services. I would love to just spread the good news of Christ to you. If you're here in the Atlanta area, our address is 4137 Washington Road in East Point, right down from the Atlanta airport. And if you're not around the ATL, you can always log on at stmarklutheranchurch.org. And there you can be a part of any of our worship services. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you understand this one message. God is trying to tell you to hold on until your blessing comes. And may God's grace and peace be with you.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
You can roll your eyes all you want to. Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni the Tree Lady, hanging out with
that guy, Marty McFly, that is excited right now because this is the time that you tell us about some entrepreneurial stuff. So I know that I'm just.
I got nothing, man.
Huh? Oh, you was just okay.
I love how you turn it on and turn. As soon as the mic goes on, well, right before I was like, you rolling your eyes at me about something, ain't you?
No.
You rolling your eyes.
Never that.
But you know what? Being an entrepreneur, that's what you got to do sometimes.
What, roll your
eyes? You got to be able to.
Like, oh, they talking some. Okay, you want me to do what? Oh, okay.
No, you got to be willing to turn on a dime. You know what I mean?
Oh, yes.
And a lot of people. And I'm glad you brought this up because a lot of people don't like change.
Right.
And when you're an entrepreneur, that's one of the biggest things that you're going to have to get comfortable with is change. One of my favorite things to say is to get comfortable being uncomfortable.
Yep.
And a lot of people have a problem with that. And just going back to what we've been through in the last 2 or 3 years, you know, I'm making changes in my company because people are changing. Mm-hmm. So, for example, when you call into our company, generally speaking, we come out, we do an estimate, we do it in person or whatever. But it's now to the point where as a company, we have to change because some people still aren't comfortable meeting in person. So we're doing estimates where people are at work, but we're doing it by video or we're doing it by FaceTime or something like that. Those are changes. As a company, there's things business wise and financially and stuff like that I'm stepping back going, wait a minute. Things have got to change. We've got to upgrade in certain areas so that we can set ourselves up for success. But if you, as a business person, your thinking is, oh man, this is how I've always done it. You know, this is what's worked in the past. And I learned a long time ago that sometimes what got you here won't get you there.
Right.
And so
it won't keep you here.
It won't keep you here. And so for those of you that are entrepreneurs out there, you might need to step back and take a look at your endeavors, take a look at your business and go, hey, what do I need to change?
Hey, I like that.
And one of the things I want to talk about.
She gets the applause today for that.
A little bit. But one of the things I want to talk about real quick is Chat GPT. Everybody's talking about this thing. And let me tell you something. It's going to put a lot of people out of work. And some of those people are entrepreneurs. Or it's going to create a whole lot of opportunity.
Okay.
Are you familiar with Chat GPT?
Nope. No, what Chat?
Are you being funny right now?
No, I'm not. What is it?
Okay. Chat GPT is like artificial intelligence. Not like, it is artificial intelligence.
Okay.
Okay, I'll give you a perfect example. My daughter does my social media, some of my social. I do some and she does some.
Right.
And then we also have a company that does like so if you see something really pretty and manufactured kind of on our
Get to the point. But I'm just.
You want to do this?
I'm interested into what your GPT.
So anyway, that's curated by a company. But what I've been doing is I've been asking for a blog post, right? Because I think blogging, even though I don't do it as a main form of advertising, it's good on LinkedIn and some of the other sites, the smaller sites that are out there. So I've asked for it, still ain't got it. I'll get some pictures, but no blog, right? So I decided I was listening to a webinar and they were talking about Chat GPT. So I downloaded the app Chat GPT. And I was like, let me see how this works, right? So I said to the app, hey, write me a blog post about the importance of proper tree care. It wrote it in like 10 seconds. And then all I did was add a picture to it and popped it up onto our social media.
Oh, wow.
And it's artificial intelligence. It's crazy. I mean, there's people that are artists now that are concerned about their jobs because you can say things like, create an ad that looks like Picasso made it and it'll just create it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You can, people with term papers, write a term paper on the Spanish Revolution.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I might be going back to school then. Shoot.
No, but seriously, it's
no. I'm saying
powerful.
If I had that seriously, that's game changing. If that's
it's very game changing. But the thing that I don't think people are like, I feel like people are walking around sleep right now. Like there's all these changes happening, and people don't realize what's getting ready to happen to them. Like a tsunami is coming, and people are just like, oh, I'm just kind of go along to get along. And not realizing that this technology, not just this technology, but just the way things are going right now, is going to create a vacuum that you will either benefit from or get lost in.
Yeah. Well, I'll say this, Donnie. You were saying something earlier about change.
Yeah.
And I'll say it like this: change make dollars.
That's so good.
And if you ain't changing, you ain't making no dollars.
Oh, that's so good.
So I agree with you in this new, I guess, industry.
I'm writing that down. Change and make dollars.
I think in this new industry, how things are evolving and everything, if you're not willing to change with it, learn the new technology, you're going to be lost.
You are going to be lost.
Business is going to decline because you have to be, on the.
You got to be on the cutting edge. You got to be on the cutting edge. But the other thing is that there's people out there that think that they've missed the wave. But this is actually one of the best times to start a business. When things are volatile and kind of crazy and things are changing, that's when a lot of companies, if you position yourself well, can do really, really well. So all I'm saying is that if you're a small business and or a big business, I guess it could be a big business, and you haven't taken advantage of technology or you've been waiting for things to change, today is your day.
Yeah.
It's time for you to just go. Whatever the excuse was, it's time to just do it. And I'm talking to myself too.
Yeah. Well, we talk to ourselves a lot, preach to ourselves a lot. There was a church that during the pandemic, they just stopped having service because it's like, well, we don't know about this new technology and it's not going to last long. It's everything's going to come back.
Right.
And that church never really opened its doors back again.
Wow.
Because they didn't change with the change.
Yeah.
So with that, even with your ministry, with your business, even with your relationship, well, don't change them up too much. But the thing is,
but the way go ahead, finish what you were saying.
But no. Just trying to keep life fresh, trying to keep things fresh. Trying to see what's new, what's next. With me doing production, every so often I will listen to the radio and I'm like, oh wait, that's a new way of doing that.
Yeah.
That's a new sound, or that's a new music track, or a new way of doing stuff. And you have to keep yourself relevant, because if not, you're gonna get old and get stale.
Yeah.
But you was about to say something. I'm sorry.
But no, what you just said something about even in your relationships, but then you were like, well, not too much. And actually, I think sometimes in our relationship, because we do need to make those changes.
Oh yeah.
So, for example, I have 2 daughters, right?
Mm-hmm.
And my oldest is away at college.
Right.
And so sometimes I feel like there's a little bit of distance between us, and I'm trying to communicate with her and I want to convey to her how much I love her and, that I'm proud of her. But sometimes I feel like this like whatever, right? And so my first instinct was, well, I'm going to call her and tell her who she is and that, she needs to do that and answer my phone and stuff like that. And then I was like, wait a minute. Why don't I approach this in a different way?
Yeah.
Why don't I change my approach?
Right. That's a good
why
point.
don't I step back and go, why am I feeling this way?
Mm-hmm.
And then I realized the reason why I wanted to, now it's the middle of the day. She's probably in college, right? Well, she is in college. She's probably in school in a class. And so the reason why I want to talk to her is because I should be doing something else. But I've made this excuse that I'm going to call my daughter when I really need to be working on these invoices, or I really need to be working on our social media, or I really need to be working on something that's going to help our equipment. But because of the stress of what I'm dealing with, I'm projecting stress onto her by going, why you didn't call me? And so I said, no. Let me change my approach. And you know what's so funny? That evening she texted me, and we had a little text chat back and forth, and it was pleasant. But what I'm saying is, in that situation, instead of going with my instinct, which was to go tell her about herself and I'm her mama and she needs to pick up the phone when I call, I was like, no, let me change my approach.
Yeah.
And in doing so, I got my work done too. So
that's good, because distracted people distract other people. So if you're distracted and you're like, I want to call her real quick and distract her. She in class, but why she ain't calling me? What she do?
Yeah, that's right.
Get your work done.
I like the distracted people distract other people. Yes. That is good stuff.
Write it down.
You bringing it today.
I'm trying, because you checked me earlier talking about, I don't know if you're a real pastor. And they need to revoke your...
bishophood. You ain't even a bishop anyway.
I know I'm not a bishop.
What are you?
I'm a Marty.
Marty.
See, for me, it's like this. It's not what they call me, it's what I answer to.
You answer to Pastor Marty.
Right.
You answer to Reverend Marty, Minister Marty.
Yep.
You answer to Marty McFly.
Yep.
You answer to Marty Ringer. What is, but I'm saying, because I want to be respectful. What is your, oh, cool. What is your title
official
as a
title?
Yeah.
What is my official title to you?
I thought you were a minister, right?
If I'm a minister to you, then that's my title to you.
Okay, you a pimp.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
back in the day. No, officially Reverend. If you're in the ministry, you're Reverend if you're ordained, but Reverend, but pastor.
But doesn't it change per thingy you're in? Like what denomination or however that works?
Yeah, certain denominations call them priests, certain fathers, certain, every different denominations have different names for different people. But I'm not about to get in that because I don't know everybody's name.
You're so funny.
I don't. But
oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So what's going on with you, man? As far as your business and change and all that kind of stuff, that's our theme.
With me, with business and church, for me, church is not the business, but we have business that we have to do. But it's kind of like the same thing of change, reinventing yourself, and kind of seeing what's out there to say, okay, what can we do today to make tomorrow better? What can we do differently today to make tomorrow a little bit different?
Yeah.
A lot of us, and I know I'm not by myself. Sunday morning, you work on a good sermon, a good service, and nobody comes, on Sunday. And then you say, well, what happened, God? I've been praying, I've been faithful. And he's like, well, have you done anything this week? To get anybody in there? Have you called anybody? Have you returned any phone calls? Have you checked on the sick? And it's like, well, hold on, God, why are you going to bring all that up?
Yeah.
Yeah. But you have to change that.
Yes.
To.
But you know what I think we should talk about next week? And I'll probably write it down because I will forget. Doing the work. I think we had touched on this on one of our other shows, but I think a lot of times people know they need to change.
Yeah.
They think about changing and they feel change coming, but then they don't actually do the work to change.
Actually, everybody wants everything else around them to change, but they don't want to change. But we're going to have to change the momentum and go to commercials.
Okay, well, we're going to do that. Yep. You're listening to Doni Jones Live. I am Doni the Tree Lady.
And I am that guy, Marty McFly. We'll be right back.
Yep.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.
When the weather starts to change, the wrenches start to fall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
If it's looking kinda weak and it's looking kinda bleak, who a tree specialist call?
Don's Tree
If the
Service.
trees in your yard are just too tall, who you gonna call?
Don's Tree Service.
Hey everybody, it's me, Wanda Smith, and I'm here with some great information. I don't know if you know, but it's hurricane season, and it's a great time for you to think about having trees removed before one falls on your home. That's something you don't want to happen. Listen, I called Don's Tree Service on a Monday. They were here in just a few days. The price was right, the staff was right, and I'm happy with everything they've done. So hey, if I were you, I would sit down with my family and talk about having trees removed before the hurricane comes and hit your home.
If you want more information about your trees, call Don's Tree Service, 770-413-8733. That's 770-413-TREE.
You know, one of the things that frustrates me to no end is when I call a company and as soon as it picks up, it says, please hold, and your approximate hold time is 4 to 5 to 10 minutes. It frustrates me because I need some help. But then I was wondering about when we get on our knees and pray, does the spiritual angel kind of picks up and says, I hear your prayer, but please hold for the operator. And it might take you 4 or 5 days or 4 or 5 months. But knowing that the operator will pick up and handle your problem. I think in those times, God is trying to tell us to just hold on for the blessing. Hi, I'm Pastor Marty Ringer, and I'd like to invite you to join us each and every Sunday morning at St. Mark Lutheran Church. Now, you might not be in the East Point or the Atlanta area, but you can always go online at stmarklutheranchurch.org and check out any of our services. I would love to just spread the good news of Christ to you. If you're here in the Atlanta area, our address is 4137 Washington Road in East Point, right down from the Atlanta airport. And if you're not around the ATL, you can always log on at stmarklutheranchurch.org. And there you can be a part of any of our worship services. But at the end of the day, I want to make sure that you understand this one message. God is trying to tell you to hold on until your blessing comes. And may God's grace and peace be with you.
Hey, this is Doni the Tree Lady, owner of Don's Tree Service. And as a small business owner, I get asked all the time, how did you do it? Now, for those of you that don't know, I basically started a tree service with $43 and a dream right here in beautiful Atlanta, Georgia. Now, during my journey, I've definitely been blessed to see the mountaintop, but I've also been in some rough valleys. And in my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I share my experience. My book really is a real woman's journey to building a happy, healthy, and successful life. But I gotta be honest with you, I read self-help books and I listened to audio programs about success, and I was still having difficulty achieving success in my life until I really got a hold of certain principles that made a difference. In my book, From Failure to Fabulous, I get very real and raw about what I did to build my company, my family, and my life. So please go check out my book, From Failure to Fabulous, on Amazon, or you can go to my website, www.DoniJonesLive.com.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live.
Yeah, watch your mouth. Hold on. Hot mic.
Welcome back to Doni Jones Live. I am the peaceful Doni the Tree Lady.
Yeah, and I'm just Pastor Marty McFly right now. Okay, yeah.
You are Pastor Marty McFly, and actually we need pastors because I'm telling you.
Donnie is off the chain today.
I don't know about that, but I will say this.
Yes.
I was thinking about, what we were talking about earlier in the segment where we were talking about my sister, and I really got to thank God that I got to a point where I really accepted letting go and letting God, because a lot of times we don't understand. We don't really adhere to that term I guess it's a verse that says the battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. Or is that a gospel song? Yeah. See, I've been getting the gospel songs mixed up with actual Bible verses. But anyway, that song that says the battle.
It's probably some kind of translation that says the same thing.
The battle is not yours, it's the Lord's. Because I did go through a phase where I wanted to go, do mean stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And you get to a point in your life where you're like, that's not really going to fix anything. And then you get all emotionally wrapped up in it. Yeah. And I think a lot of times in life we do that. So to watch how God took that thing off of me, and just let me release it. And then by the time it came back to me, meaning I didn't want the news coverage, I didn't want the media, because no matter how you turn it around, it was going to look negative, you know?
Right.
But
when if you got two fools arguing, you don't know who's crazy.
Right, exactly. Well, I don't know is that what this is called?
But it means the same thing. If you got two people arguing, you don't know who's right, who's crazy, who's not. Because I'm saying if you just do the same thing that she's doing, and y'all just back and forth, nobody really knows because y'all are both throwing dirt.
Yeah,
you know?
absolutely.
And the more positive thing is, doing to others as you want others to do unto you, and it does come back. So showing her more positivity and love.
That's right.
It does come back to you.
That's right.
That's and then this ain't the spiritual moment, but at the same time, it is, I guess, because you have to show the light in you. And it's like they say in the Bible, you are the light of the world or the salt of the world. So you have to let your light inside of you shine, even in the midst of other people's darkness.
Yeah,
So if she is doing that, you're not going out there trying to really bash her company or anything like that. You're saying, I'm not affiliated with that.
I'm not. That's all. I think that's what the hard thing was, Marty, is that I do have a leg to stand on to say all these horrible things about her company or about her. But is that the right thing to do? No, I don't think it's the right thing to do because she's already doing it to herself. So I don't have anything negative to say. All I want to say is that I'm not doing that and I'm not affiliated with that. And that's not to make me superior because that's not it. We're all God's children.
Right.
Oh,
yeah.
But what I will say is that there's a right way to do things and there's a wrong way. And I remember when we first got started, I mean, there's times that our trucks broke down and it took longer to fix stuff.
Oh,
and,
yes.
Wasn't able to clean up. And of course, people would go say some mean stuff about us. But we didn't make that a pattern.
Right.
And when you start doing things and you making it a pattern, that means you're doing it on purpose.
Well, it's like this. If you don't correct yourself.
Yeah.
Because I remember, I'm not sure, did they have a news story about you one time that you was, well, no, that's something else. But the thing is, you on radio.
I didn't say a curse word.
Almost. But no, the thing is, if you know that you're doing stuff not right, fix it.
Right,
like we were saying earlier, change it. Yeah. Don't go get into any industry saying, how can I get over on people? Because you're never going to get ahead like that.
You're never going to get ahead. You never
If you show love, do the best. And things happen, okay?
Absolutely.
Granted, in business, things happen.
That's right.
Don't take it maliciously. And you try to say, okay, how can I do the best for the client?
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, if I didn't do the work and I took the money, go back and try to fix it, make it right.
That's right.
Or if it's something that you can't fix right, make sure you write that down and say, okay, I'm not going to have that in my practice. I'm not going to practice that kind of stuff. And you make the change to make it better.
Yeah.
But, if some people are
something in my spirit just leaped when you said that about if you haven't done right.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's somebody out there listening to us right now, and I'm not trying to take your job because I'm not a pastor, but I do feel like there's people out there, specifically someone out there right now, in Texas, right now that has done some really horrible, illegal, not so cool stuff, and it's not too late. No matter how bad you've messed up, it's not too late. I think you should stop whatever it is you're doing right now that ain't right. And fix it. And if you can't fix it, apologize for it and make a plan to fix it. You may not even know what that plan is right now, but try to just start doing right. And when you start doing right, sometimes negative stuff is going to come your way. Sometimes when because you've been doing wrong for so long that things are going to hit you. And when things hit you, your role in that is to see how you're going to react this time. When the bill isn't paid, when the electricity is cut off, when they're getting ready to repossess the truck, when they're getting ready to take your car or whatever, and when you can't pay for your school, your daughter's, whatever that is, whatever that thing is, I don't know what it is, but I can just feel it in my spirit. Whatever that thing is, stop it. Stop doing whatever wrong you're doing and let the chips fall where they may, because God is a good God and he is a great God. And I believe in grace and mercy. I have been a product of grace and mercy. I'll tell one real quick example. We did go through a financial hardship and in the early 2000s, and we could not pay our bills on time. Mm-hmm. We had people we owed that were fixing our trucks, and we tried to, pay them, and a check bounced, and I was all this crazy stuff going on, right? And I finally got my footing together. I finally kind of started getting my head on my shoulders and trying to make stuff right. And I went back 5 years later. It took me 5 years. Okay. I went back and paid that balance off. And the guy was like, what? And I was like, what do you're actually paying this? And I was like, well, yeah, I owe you the money. I'm going to pay it. And he was like, Donnie, you would not believe it. Every time I see one of your trucks, I want to throw rocks. You know, he goes, and I just thought, because at first I really liked you. And then I just thought you were this horrible person.
Yep.
And he goes, but you know what? This says a lot. He goes, anytime you need your truck fixed, you come bring it back. And I was like, whoa. You know, but he was surprised because he said people don't do that. He goes, nobody does what you're doing right now. Nobody goes back and makes it right 5 years later. You know, now I have one more story about that and we can move on. I did pay somebody back that I owed for a long time. Once our business was doing really well and getting things straightened out. And they said, thanks for the payment. But they didn't want to do business with me. They didn't want to see me. They didn't want to talk to me. They didn't want to have contact with me anymore. And you know what was so cool? I got it. I understood it. And I respect that. My job was to do my part and make it right. You know what I mean? But I had caused his business so many issues because of what my business was going through and me not handling it right and me not returning phone calls because I was all shaken up about what they was going to say. The bottom line is, take the phone calls, talk to people, let them know what you're going through. And if you can't fix it and they say mean stuff, absorb it. I mean, not absorb it, but take it, put it, you know, to the side and do what you can to start making it right. So I don't know. Like I said, I just wanted to put that out there.
Yay! You know, I can appreciate that, Donnie, and I give you a gold star for today.
I got another person I need to take her to.
And it won't be 5 years, I hope. No, you know, but it's interesting because it is one thing about changing, and it's not about what faces you.
Yeah.
It's about how you face those things.
Woo! Preach.
You know, how you react to adversity when your car breaks down or your car, you know, because my car broke down this morning when it overheated.
That's right, it did.
And it was funny because I was surprised at myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't freaking out.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't like, oh my God, I'm tired of this. It was just like, you know, change.
But you also got paper now, so you know you don't.
No,
dude. You pulled up in your other car. A lot of people don't have that. Back in the day, if my car would have broke down, I would have been calling for a ride, riding a bus.
Okay, so you plug your car in, don't you?
No. Okay.
Okay, now you're going to talk about me.
A Prius is not a plug-in car.
Okay.
It's
that's
hybrid.
right.
It's a hybrid.
Okay, well, you plug it in
I had
sometimes.
an accident in the hybrid 2 weeks ago.
That's right, and you drove the other car, right?
I did drive. Okay, I'm not talking about where we're
Okay,
I'm not talking about where we are right now.
Talking about me. Okay.
I'm not talking about where we are right now. I'm talking about back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well,
you know.
I'm talking about the day. Your back in the day struggles is about the day problems. But anyway.
And you know me well enough.
I know.
We just gonna not.
It is
you
all
know
to
better.
the good. You know what, Donnie? It has been a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful time with you.
And
you know, I will lift up a prayer and just, you know, thoughts out for the Nichols family. That is his last name, right?
Absolutely,
yeah. Nichols family. You know, and all the people that are involved in that, because it's not just his life being gone, but it's affecting so many people in that community.
Absolutely.
So, you know, just have your prayers out for them, and, you know, make sure that you keep the thoughts that we said earlier.
That's
change makes dollars, and
that's right.
make some change in your life.
And support us on social media. Go to YouTube, subscribe to our channel, Doni, Doni Jones Live.
Yep.
Doni Jones Live. If you don't see me and Marty's face pop up, it ain't us.
Right.
So,
and if you do want to know more about Donnie's story, she does have a book called From Failure to Fabulous that you can get where at?
Amazon. You can get it on our website, DoniJonesLive.com. Or just reach out to us at 1-888-349-DONI. That's 1-888-349-DONI.
Right.
Which translates to 3664.
And you can also find it at Cash America Pawn Shop, right? What?
Do a
I bet it's back there somewhere. A whole lot of dust on it. Just saying.
You ain't right, dude.
Love you. But check out the book. You like the show. Subscribe, and we will see you.
We'll see them next week.
Yeah.
It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live. It's Doni Jones Live, Doni Jones Live.